there's a grandchildren.
Oh.
Didn't I show you the great-grands?
No, you didn't.
I'm sorry.
Okay, we'll have to see that.
It's hard to imagine our country without the voluntary time and contributions given towards helping others. Care for the ill, meals for the elderly, blood banks, and shelters for the homeless all depend upon the efforts and contributions of volunteers. Without them, our world would be a much different place. BLM employees share their time and enthusiasm with their communities too, like supervising a scout project or pruning roses in a public park, or helping individuals develop athletic skills.
It's just been a real positive experience for me. I think I happened to be in a gym one night when the Special Olympics was practicing, and I saw them going through the motions, and I just thought, well, that looks like it'd be kind of a fun thing to do. So I called the person in charge and just told him I would be interested in coming down and helping a little bit, and that's how it got started. I think I'm always learning from my work with these guys. That's probably the thing that I've learned the most is how a lot of things don't really matter, you know. The important, you've got to really focus on the important things in life and don't let things get you down too much. And these people, I don't know what it is about this population of people that are mentally retarded, but it seems like a large percentage of them are happy-go-lucky people. They're energetic. They don't get drugged down by minor things, you know, that sometimes we do get dragged down by. And that's probably what I've learned from these people is that look at the important things and keep a smile on your face, because that's usually what they do.
Sharing values through action and not just words is a common characteristic of volunteers, whether they are BLM employees helping others or people from the community helping BLM. Volunteers come from all over the world, contributing their time and talents to a variety of BLM activities. BLM has been accepting volunteer help for years. In 1 year alone, volunteers contributed goods and services totaling over $1 million in Oregon and Washington BLM districts. Saving the government money is an important accomplishment, yet volunteers do a lot more for BLM than simply save dollars.
Well, I think one of the biggest benefits of using volunteer groups is getting to know each other and the educational aspects of who we are and what their concerns are, and just basically getting a better understanding of each other's concerns and the issues that we deal with by working together.
And part of the reason for that was to try to get public involvement in the planning processes and the ongoing projects that we've got in the field. The idea was through volunteerism we could sell the ideas of the Bureau's mission, which basically is multiple use.
My personal feeling is that people who come and help you in volunteer projects become more supportive of the Bureau as a whole. It's somewhat like the situation where you have a neighbor who is a lawyer or an accountant. You may not know anything about lawyers and accountants, but if he's your neighbor and he's your friend, then you will probably have a better image of lawyers and accountants. And that's somewhat what is happening here. These folks are working in our parks. They know who we are. They know we're doing a good job in the parks. Consequently, my feeling is they support the other things we're doing out there, the wildlife programs, the timber programs, the soils programs.
I think it definitely has helped me professionally. I'm much wider known now in the profession than I was 5 years ago. And we are being recognized as having a well-developed program. We're very innovative. There's a lot of research currently being done in the Lakeview District that is stemmed directly from the volunteer program, and it has brought me professional recognition that I don't think I would have received otherwise.
But we also have projects like with the Malheur Field Station out here, that it's an environmental education center. And we have accelerated our cooperative efforts with them. And they bring through a lot of people with a lot of talent, a lot of retired people, a lot of educators, from archaeologists to botanists to whatever. And so they go through a lot of data gathering, a lot of information sorting and gathering and preparation that we in the past haven't had access to. And by virtue of this, this growing relationship with them, we are going to get a lot of resource information.
It's helped me a good deal in my work, I'll say that. It has made my job a lot easier. With the volunteers that I've had, all of them have been very competent and have really fulfilled a niche that I would otherwise not have been able to fill.
The psychological benefits of including volunteers in our workforce can be valuable too. An article in Psychology Today describes volunteering as a new kind of high that includes feeling stronger, more energetic, warmer, less depressed, and a greater sense of self-worth, even fewer aches and pains. If BLM volunteers are feeling energized as a result of their volunteer experience, that kind of enthusiasm has to lift the spirits of the rest of us.
There's been at least 75 kids come through this warehouse that are just doing great. You know, I'm really proud of them. I have a couple of them that come back and say, "Hi, Chuck, how you doing?" You know, and it really makes me feel good. It really does. And I had one kid in particular tell me that he says, "Chuck, if I can work for you, I can work for anybody." And that makes me feel happy. I'll tell you what. I mean, that just kind of gives me a little charge. You know how it is?
Yes. We've had people involved in the planning processes. We've had people involved in the work in the field. And we've had people involved in every phase. And it's been very gratifying to me to see that. I think it's been gratifying to everybody.
It's probably been one of the most gratifying parts of my job, in that these people are actually donating their own time and labors to benefit a resource in that.
Well, we developed a sort of camaraderie among the group because we had a lot of people that kept coming back again and again.
It's been wonderful, and as soon as a Boy Scout comes in and says, "I'm looking for an Eagle project," I get pretty excited. I said, "Oh gosh, now I'll get something else neat built." It's excellent, and I would suggest all campground managers look into that opportunity, develop that relationship with the local district, and get on their list as a source of Eagle projects.
While BLM volunteers are helping us in many different ways, it's important for us to remember that volunteers don't work for free. Although we don't pay volunteers a salary or wage for their help, BLM volunteers do receive pay in a form other than money. What we consider work, volunteers often consider something more.
One of the things I like about volunteering is I set my own hours. I pretty much come and go as I want. When I'm working in the office, at least. Of course, if I went out in the field, I'd have to come with the others, but...
Well, I'm medically retired. I can't earn any money. And so this is something that keeps me busy.
It results in beautiful fish like this in the river and helps them out, and I feel kind of good about taking the fish after we volunteer, and it makes you feel good to put something back in after you take fish out of the river.
They would be able to think back on that experience and think, I made a contribution to land management, to resource management. Jason Whipple will never forget that he made a contribution to finding rare plants on the Vail District. I know a number of the juvenile delinquents that worked with us will never forget that they made a contribution to riparian restoration.
I never knew it was such a wide variety of different people. And I've met botanists, and I've met people who go out and do field work, and then the people at the office, it's just meeting so many different people. It's really interesting.
Flexible hours, choice of projects, job experience and training, helping an important cause, meeting new people, caring for natural and cultural resources. These are just some of the reasons volunteers come back to us time after time. The main reason we have volunteers helping us accomplish our goals is because BLMers make it happen. Every year we have more offers of volunteer assistance than we are able to use. It takes more than good volunteers, however, to produce a successful volunteer program. BLMers make it happen by being innovative, planning jobs and projects that volunteers can do, and providing necessary supervision and support.
The most significant thing in regards to maintaining and promoting an effective volunteer program is really just that little extra investment that you need to do it. As I mentioned earlier, it does take a little bit of money. You supply materials for your volunteers, transportation, sometimes subsistence. And so it does take a little additional in addition to what you have planned for the program. Outside of that, your enthusiasm and creativity and staff support is really the ingredients that makes a productive volunteer program work. So.
The planning and the organization of them has taken a little bit of work. In some cases, I've worked on putting the cooperative agreements with the universities together, sometimes for as much as 2 years beforehand. And it does take a little bit of time and forethought, but I have found that once you get things organized, they do run pretty smoothly.
It does take some extra hours to begin with, but now it seems to be rolling on its own for the most part.
The intangible benefits, the dollar savings, and the hard work of BLM employees has made the volunteer program a success. More and more, volunteers are performing tasks that were once considered too critical or difficult. As we in the Bureau become more sophisticated in developing human resource opportunities, we will also be freed up to perform at higher skill levels. The end result can be more energy to do our jobs better and an improved working environment for us all. A successful volunteer program depends as much on you, the BLM staffer, as it does on the dedication of volunteers. Together, you will have a positive impact on the management of our nation's valuable cultural, human, and natural resources.
It's probably been one of the most gratifying parts of my job.
It's mighty easy.
I do it because I like it.